All right, welcome to Chair Yoga, and in today's class I'm going to recommend you might have blocks handy and maybe a strap. So a few props there. And if you walk your sit bones towards the edge of the chair and find a nice comfortable position, so take a moment to fidget. You're having the feet roughly hip width distance apart, shoulder width distance apart. That kind of distance so that if you're about to stand up, you would be firmly planted. And we're going to focus from the waist up today. We'll do a little bit in the hips as well, but mainly from the waist up. So tune into the waist, the low back, perhaps the ribs up into the shoulders, shoulders up into the neck and skull, and then outwards into the limbs, to the hands. So you've got this upper area of the body. And we'll just start with a little bit of movement to begin the class. Grab your knees and start to turn the torso, orbit the torso around the hips. And as you do that, see if you can keep the elbows and shoulders loose and the neck and head loose. So you feel all these pivotal points, these points that like to pivot. It's almost like you're lubricating the low back and the hips, elbows, shoulders, neck. And then slowing down, pause and notice how you feel after that twirling. And then start to twirl slowly in the opposite direction. Just notice how that feels on the low back, shoulders, neck. And then slowly come up to stillness. Rolling the shoulders up towards the ears, back and down. Palms rest. Facing upwards, the back of the hands resting on the thighs. Elbows tuck in nicely to the ribs. And take 2 or 3 slow, full, gentle breaths here. Extend the legs out in front of you. Heels on the floor. You might even grab the chair for support here. And you're simply going to hinge forward. Keep the chin away from the chest so you feel the back of the legs light up. And if we're talking about the parts of the body we started class with, the low back, stretching out the back of the legs here, it helps relieve pressure on the low back. Hamstrings, calf muscles. If you feel confident, you can reach your hands down towards the toes. For 3, 2, and 1. Now keeping the legs straight, walk the hands back up the thighs. I'm going to pick up the left knee and hug the left knee in towards the rib cage, towards your shoulder. And then replace it and change sides. Extend, Cross the left ankle over the right and slide it up just above the knee joint. If that's not available to you because of hip issues, you can always strap up your foot. I'll show you how to do that. You can have the foot strapped and just bring it up to the level that works for you. If you can, bend the right knee and create your figure four. And once more, coming into the low back, hinge forward, and you can just rest here for a bit. Bring the chin away from the chest and simply turn the head to the right and then the left. 2 more times. And then a little bit of head nodding. Can you look up, look up, look up, as if your eyes are trying to look through your eyebrows, and then slowly drop the chin towards the chest. We're just feeling the back of the neck, up and down. And this might bring a little bit of relief into the back of the upper back as well, into the shoulders. The next time you lift your gaze, push down on the thigh, come up, bringing the torso up and extend both legs out in front. Let's cross the right ankle over the left. And once again, bring it up, slide it up, that's it. Bending the knee. And once again, hinging forward to the degree that feels safe and comfortable for you. You might feel this in the piriformis, but it's also going to relieve the low back. And once again, while we're in this position, let's move the head in those 4 directions, left and right, a few times. And then up and down. Push into the thigh, come on up. And release the figure 4, extend the legs one more time. And sliding down, down, down. Just feeling the posterior change, stretch out. Oh yeah. Yum, yum, yum. Don't overdo it. For 3, 2, 1. Walk the hands back up. And we can bend those knees. And just to finish that sequence, let's do some more torso twirls. Just noticing if that's changed the low back's feeling at all. And remembering to loosen up the joints, the elbows and the shoulders, so you feel very loosey-goosey here. Twirl the other way. And then slowly come up, pause, and float the hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers. Bring the elbows towards each other so you feel this release in the upper back, the shoulder blades. Let's flap the wings a little bit here, in and out. And the next time you flap closed, hold and see if you can squeeze the forearms against the skull. And try to pick the back of the skull up carefully. So you're tractioning out this very tight region in the back of the neck where it joins the skull, the occipital ridge. You might even drop the chin a little bit here and get a nice back traction, neck traction, into the skull, Releasing that very tight area that gives us headaches. For 3, 2, and then slowly release. And just notice how the back of the neck feels. Let's widen the hips here. So bringing the feet out a little bit into a sumo squat, a goddess position, and lean the elbows. So we got a little bit of traction in the low back. And all we're going to do here is circles with the nose. So you start with a small circle. And you can spiral the circle out gradually as the neck, the cervical spine lubricates. And just working in the size of the circle, it feels good. Some people will get a very big circle going here. And then circle the other way. You can start with a large circle or a small circle in the other direction. And then pause. If you have a block handy, I'm going to recommend you grab your block and you stand it on its long end, its tallest setting, right between the feet. Drop your hands to the block, so you're leaning into the block now. If you don't have a block, you can always bring the hands to the mat, or if you have another object. Bending the elbows, let the weight of the torso come forward, and then push into the block or the mat, straighten the arms so you come back up, almost like you've done a push-up. Bending the elbows, let the weight of the torso dangle down between the hips, the thighs, and then push up. So you're getting this nice traction in the back. Do that 2 or 3 more times. Now the next time you come down, if you feel comfortable, I want you to stay here and let the weight of the torso traction out the low back. You can move your block, you can even bring the hands to the mat. Come up at any time you need to. Now start to slowly look underneath your chair so you feel the back of the neck traction out. Those who feel comfortable can fold the arms and really let the weight of the folded arms pull and traction out the low back. And those who still feel comfortable with this position can clasp their hands behind the skull, wrap the forearms around the sides of the skull, and pull the head towards the mat. Getting a deep traction in the neck and the low back, plus a widening in the hips. It's a big movement. Work at the level that feels safe and comfortable for you. For 3, 2, 1, and then you can bring your hands to the mat or the block. Straighten and bring your elbows back to the thighs. Before we leave this sequence, just take a little circular orbit with the nose, slow. Let it spiral out gradually. And just notice how that feels in the back of the neck. And the other way. Bring the head to neutral. Hands walk back along the thighs, bringing the torso up slowly. One more extension of the legs out front. Toes curled back so you get that nice tightening in the back of the limbs. And then you can come into another forward fold and just notice if there's any increase in the range of motion that you have here. Walk slowly back up the legs. And let's do 3 torso twirls in each direction. Nice loose elbows and shoulders. Hopefully the neck feels really loosened up here now. Other way if you haven't already. Good. And when you come up, just shake out your hands and the arms. Whew. And bring the arms out to the side. Let's do some nice big wing exercises here. Bringing the hands, the palms above the head, reach up. Float the hands, palms face down. Inhale, palms face up, reach up, look up. Float the arms down. Palms face down and look down. So nice slow motion. Rhythm of the breath, inhaling as you lift up, look up, reach up. Exhaling as you look down and bring the hands down. Just feeling that in the shoulders. Keep the hands comfortably spread, so not overly spread, but conscious of bringing the fingers apart. The next time you lift up, look up, reach up, bring the left hand behind the back. Right hand crosses over the midline of the body. And in that twist, simply turn the head to the left shoulder, the back shoulder, and then the front shoulder. So you rotate, you pivot the head left and right a few times here. While you're in that thoracic twist. Inhale, gently release, reach up, look up. And then exhaling, turning the other direction. Shoulders back and down. Sit up tall as you do this, looking over the back shoulder initially. And then start to pivot the head left and right. Good. Just noticing how the neck feels, the shoulders feel in the twist. And then gently release, floating the hands up. Look up, drop the left hand only to the edge of your chair and leaning towards that left side, keeping the left shoulder down. Bring the ear down towards the shoulder. Make sure you don't fall off your chair. You can rest on a block, or you can hold the leg of the chair, or you can use the strong core muscles of the obliques to support and stabilize the spine. Inhale, come up, look up, reach up. Exhale, other side. Feeling that lateral movement of the spine. So this is all releasing the back and the shoulders and the ribs. Inhale, look up, reach up. So let's focus on the hands and the forearms for a bit. So the lower upper limbs. We'll take the left hand out in front of you and just open and close it a few times. And then with the hand open, just rotate that left wrist. Rotate it the other way. And then take your right hand and grab the fingers of the upper hand, pull them back towards the back of the wrist, and as you do that, straighten the left arm so you feel that big stretch through the carpal tunnel area, through the forearm, pulling back on the fingers. Once again, not overdoing it, just feeling a nice, comfortable, delicious stretch. So hit the sweet spot here. For 3, 2, 1. Open and close that hand. And then droop the fingers down so the back of the hand faces forward. And you're going to bring the right hand behind the back of the left hand and pull it towards the wrist so you feel this stretch now on the top of the wrist and forearm. And then release, open and close that hand. Now you're going to take that hand this time and rotate it. So start with the fingers pointing down, the back of the hand pointing forward, and you rotate it to the left 90 degrees or as close as you can so you feel a twisting motion. The right hand's going to grab the back of that hand. You might even interlace the fingers. And then you're going to pull it back towards the chest, and as you do, you bend the left elbow, and you really feel that twist, stretch in the wrist. And then slowly straighten it out. It's almost like you're creating a circular movement with the hands. Back towards the chest. And one more. Open and close that fist a few times. Now we're going to do one that's a little trickier. This time you start with the back of the hand facing forward, fingers droop down, and you rotate inwards. So it's an inward rotation, and then you keep going. It's almost like someone's twisting your arm, and you'll drop that left shoulder. You'll feel your left shoulder compensate and drop. And then you're going to grab the back of the hand once again. And you're going to bring it into the chest, twisting in the other direction. Oh yeah. Nice and slowly. Good. And then release that, open and close. Now, we're going to get the webbing between each consecutive pair of fingers stretched out here. So you take the right hand and you insert it between the pinky and the index finger, the ring finger. All right? I'll come up nice and close to show you that. So you can see I've inserted my whole hand between, so I'm stretching those fingers apart. And then move to the next pair and do the same. You can even start to spread the inserted hand to get more of a stretch in the webbing. Then come to the pointer finger and middle finger, same. And when you stretch the webbing between the thumb and the pointer finger, that's a whole different issue. You're going to just simply pull back on the tip of the thumb towards the wrist carefully. Just be mindful. Open and close. And then bring that left hand down onto your thigh and just give it a massage, a rub. And then maybe clap the hand, shake it out. Now resting the arms back into the original meditation position we started class with, palms face up, elbows in. Just notice if you feel any contrast between the upper limbs, the left and right side. One should feel live and tingly, the other might feel a little dull and sensitive. So let's work on the other side. Let's start with the fingers down and push out the heel palm, straight arm, stretching forearm, carpal tunnel area. 3, 2, and 1. A little bit of twinkly star in between. And then we'll drop the back of the hand facing forward, fingers pointing down, and carefully pull back on the wrist. So the stretch now moves into the upper forearm, into the back of the hand. Release, twinkly star. And then the back of the hand facing forward, once again, rotate outwards, so the fingers point outwards, thumb points down, grab the back of the hand. You can interlace the fingers if you like, and then bending elbows, bring the hand back towards the heart. Feel the twisting motion. And once again, stay in that delicious zone. Don't go outside delicious zone when it comes to the wrist and the hands. They should be getting a lot of relief from this. And on the next one, release, twinkly star. Back of the hand faces forward, fingers down, rotate inwardsly now. As far as you can, you might even feel that right shoulder compensate and drop. Grab the back of the hand, give it a nice squeeze, and once again, bending elbows, create a little circular orbit of the hands. It's really an oval, isn't it? Not a circle. And release. And let's get into the spread of the fingers. Insert the hands, spreading each consecutive pair, getting the webbing nice and stretched out. Move along to the next pair as you feel that stretch comes to completion. Now remembering, when you come to the thumb, it's a different ball game. You want to pull back carefully on the thumb. And shake it out. And just notice as you come back into a meditation position, palms face up, just notice how the arms and shoulders and neck all feel. So releasing the tension in the hands also translates upwards to the shoulders and neck. All right. So we're going to change position a little bit with the chair. So bring the feet back a little bit so that the knees are cantilevered over the big toe, hip width distance apart. I'm going to lean forward and feel the weight come into the legs, and then come back and relieve the weight, sit bones. So just feel how the legs light up as you come forward. So we're strengthening all those muscles that support the knees. And for those who feel confident, I want you to, the next time you come forward, I want you to bring your buttocks. You can hold the chair if you like, an inch or two off the chair. So you're coming into a low squat, you can feel the quads light up, and then you're going to slowly come back down without plopping. And that should be a nice little burn in the quads and thighs. Try it again. Those who want to come to chair pose, you can bring the arms out and up above the head and back down. Now the next time you do this, we're going to stand all the way up. Slowly come up, 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 up. And then bringing the chair to the top of the mat and reverse its direction. So the chair is facing you, you're facing the chair. I'm going to turn my chair sideways so you can see what's going on. I'm not invisible. And then bringing both hands onto the chair. Walk the feet backwards until you have a nice comfortable L stretch. So you feel the traction in the low back and the shoulders. Now push the hips back a little more until you feel this chair variation of downward dog. Bring the hips forward, 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 so the weight transfers into the hands. And I only want you to come as far forward into the hands as feels good. So if you can take a lot of weight, you can. You come into this variation of plank pose on the chair, but only come as far forward as feels comfortable for your hands and wrists. And then back to the L stretch, taking the pressure off the hands. Nice traction in the low back, ears between the biceps. Rotate the inner thighs back. Oh. And then one more, walking forward, leaning forward into the hands, plank pose. And then slowly bend the knees and come down onto the knees. And then onto your sit bones. So this next part of the work is really going to traction out low back, shoulders, and back of the neck. So make sure your chair is not going to move anywhere. Hustle up nice and close, rotate, and bring the back of the legs up onto the chair. If you need something under your head, put something under the head. I'm going to start by clasping the fingers behind the back of the skull. Stay in this position. Becoming aware of your back body, your back, upper back, mid back, low back, and see if you can allow them to melt towards the mat. So you're consciously relaxing the back in this position. As much as you can. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, pick the head up, holding the head, supporting the head with your hands, shoulders off the ground, and feel the low back press into the mat. Now wrap the forearms around the skull, squeeze the skull, and if you can, pick the back of the skull up. For 3, 2, and 1. Carefully lower the head back to the ground. Let the elbows come back out into upper butterfly. Relieve any pressure in the chest with a nice sigh. And we're going to do that traction once again. Deep breath in. Exhale, press the low back into the mat, pick the head up, chin towards the chest, wrap the forearms around the skull, squeeze the skull, and pick the back of the skull up, releasing all that tension in the upper back into the neck, into the skull. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Release the head and grab the left knee and bring the left knee in towards your armpit. Extend left foot to the sky, heel to heaven, toes curled back. Now start to lower that leg, but don't lower it onto the chair, lower it onto the floor. So you'll feel that open up into a little split there. And then bending that left knee, hug the left knee once again towards the ribs, towards the shoulder, and replace it onto the chair. Pull the opposite knee in, squeeze and hug. And then heel to heaven, toes curled back. And bringing that leg to the floor, extending out. Bending the right knee and hugging right knee back. And then replacing that leg onto the chair. Very important at this position. So this is called static back. It's a very restorative position for the back. And it's very important in the next exercise you only do what you're comfortable doing to the degree that you're comfortable doing it. And you want to make sure the chair is not going to slip. So it should be firmly on a mat or up against the wall or a couch, something heavy. If you like, you can even grab the legs of the chair so it doesn't slip. So you're going to bring both knees back at the same time and place the arch of the foot on the lip of the chair and push down on the lip of the chair so that your hips come up off the ground. So this is going to bring the center of gravity right up between the shoulder blades. No undue pressure in the neck. So you're doing a chair bridge pose here. Come down slowly, 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 and then rest the legs back on the chair. So that's our fundamental movement. Rolling the spine, lifting the hips, bringing the feet back to the lip of the chair into a bridge pose. And lifting up once again. You can go up a little higher if it feels good. And if you hold the legs of the chair, you get a nice shoulder release too as the shoulders come away from the neck. Now we're going to free form here a little bit. Come on down. And I want you to stay up as long as you like. Come back whenever you're ready. And we can play here. So coming back into that foundational bridge, you can lift one leg off the chair, over, look at your toes. You can change legs. More advanced practitioners might come into a half shoulder stand here. depending on your spine, you can come into the plow. So lots of variations to play with here, all bringing different variations of traction into the back, making sure when you come down you bring your feet safely to the chair and then lowering carefully. You can play as long as you like in that sequence, and when you're ready you bring the calf muscles back to the chair and rest your hands out from the hips 45 degrees, palms up. And then once again bringing that awareness to your back, thinking of the word melt or soften or sink. So you literally feel the back melting into your mat. And we'll be here for a few minutes into this chair variation of Shavasana. You can stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you're ready to transition, bring both feet back to the lip of the chair and clasping both hands behind the skull. Pick the skull up, wrap the skull, and gently squeeze the skull. So you're curled up into a little ball. In that little ball shape, support your head and roll to one side. You can remain curled up for a few breaths here into this fetus pose. And then very carefully, slowly press up to a seated position. And you can sit on your chair or the floor or a block, whatever feels simplest for you. Take 3 or 4 breaths here to simply notice how your back, shoulders, neck, arms and hands feel. And thank you for joining me. Namaste. Appreciate it.